Good evening, everybody. This is Justin K. Sweet, also known as Agent Zero, coming in with a very short, of course, we'll see how short, unboxing video of this wonderful piece of artwork I got from oh, Joe Catapano. I probably should have been a little more apt to get that. Well, I guess I'm doxing myself too. Why not? Yay! So I guess we'll get right into it. So the other day, um, I was in a live stream on Joe's show, and I say on. I was actually in the chat, and we were talking about stuff in the chat, and he was doing a giveaway, and so I entered, and next thing you know, I won. Um, so the piece of art, and actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, um, I need to paste or post post haste. Yep, there I go. See, I'm opening it up. Very cool. Vera Via Studios. At least I hope I said that right. Vera, maybe Vera Via. Of course, when I think of Vera, I think of Jane Cobb from Firefly, his favorite weapon. So anyway, looks like we got Duck Bacon in the house. Hey, what's up, Duck? Looks like you made it. I know sometimes you come home certain times in the evening or whatnot, so I'm glad that you were able to kind of pop in. I'm trying to do just a short video today, live stream. Why not? Because my YouTubing skills not the greatest, so I figure I'll just do this. So anyway, the story was I was in uh, a live stream on, or I was in the chat on Joe's live stream, and he was drawing this really cool image of um, Ella from Waking Dream, which is the Lucent comic series by none other than Michael Bancroft. So we were kind of, joking around back and forth, doing what you do in chat, and so it came time, as we were watching. I forget I was doing some other things around the same time, and so. Which I mean, that's usually what I do. I'm always doing something, and then I've always got a YouTube uh, personality kind of in the background. And so, but without further ado, um, here is the boxes being opened. So we got a cool Gemini mailer, which I'm not sure if you guys are aware. There is a for those of you who are comic creators, there is a coupon code that you can use for 10% off on for all your Gemini comic supply needs from their direct website. It's Nerd10, and that comes directly from Luke Stone Studios Nerd Cap. I think he might use it for that, but he also uses it for Nerd Bacon. Uh-oh, saw a little peek in there. Ooh, what's that? So yeah, it fortunately this this wonderful piece of mail arrived unharmed because we have a large mailbox. So none of our carriers should be folding these daggum Gemini mailers when they put them in my box. So, and believe me, I've been receiving several of them from a lot of books that I've backed over the past year. Currently on a moratorium. Sorry, folks. I do try to back as many as I can, but lately all funds are being diverted into Chrome Dog production, as well as other Epsilon City titles. I can't wait. Doug Bacon says practice makes perfect. Yeah, you're right, and I need to really do the thing. So need to make it happen. So here we go. Speaking of practice, oh my gosh, look at that. Like now, wow. So I'm very keen on human uh, activities these days. Anything that can be considered humanness, right, can really demonstrate our humanness, and no better way to do that than traditional art by hand, by a fellow human being. And Joe did a fantastic job on this. He had a really cool, he had this light box that he used when he drew he kind of did a blue. I'm not. I'm I'm working to be an artist, but I don't know all the terminology. But he did a pencil rendering of the pose, and he was kind of working that out in real time on the stream, and he did that in a blue pencil, and then he wound up lightboxing this piece of paper over top of it. Oh, look at that! He sent me a little. I guess it looks like a postcard, um, and yes, I'm going to open it because um, I'm not even sure what I'm going to do with this piece of art. I'll probably frame it. I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't. But yeah, he's got a really cool signature too. Look at that. It's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, this piece is fantastic. Um, I aspire to do work like this. I really do, especially to the entertainment of people watching me do it. Like to get to that level, to have that level of confidence where I could sit down and do the thing. Oh, look at that! He says, "Justin, thanks for watching, Joe." And he's got his comic book star circuit, which, by the way, in the description of the video, I went ahead and posted in there. There's also this wonderful QR code that if you have your little handy little cell phone, I guess you could do the thing. I don't know if that far will make it happen. Perhaps if we get just a little bit closer to the camera, maybe that'll help. Lighting, cameras, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. So that was that. That was this, and Star Circuit looks like a really fun book, and I look forward to being able to get that one day. Not sure if I'll be able to back it on a crowdfunding campaign. I'll probably just have to buy it after the fact at some point in the near future. I'm definitely keen on spending money outside of my own work, spending money on indie comic creators. But man, this is really cool. I definitely want to do stuff like this one day soon too. Um, Also in the description, you might see I have a Substack that I've started, and several of you have already subscribed, and so I really appreciate that. Any and all support that gets sent my way is fantastic. I've noticed that there's some other fellow writers that have actually followed me. I think it's kind of cool that even Comicsgate's own Mike Barron, which by the way, hi Comicsgate. um, I've been accused of not being Comicsgate because I don't say that enough, but at the same time, I'm also not much of a panderer. I mean, people know that I'm in the group. Okay, I'm part of the club, as it were. I'm not here to declare my allegiance every 5 minutes. So, hi Comicsgate. Um, we are awesome in our own right. So here's my hands. I guess you could say I'm pulling a blue samurai zero trick. Most people have seen my face at this point. If not, I'm sure you can look at some of my videos on here. I did kind of want to go over this new character that I have, and no, I haven't abandoned Chrome Dog. Chrome Dog is still my dude. He's my pride and joy. He's my baby. But this is a little glimpse of what's to come. And this is a guy by the name of I call him the Closer. Interesting that the camera doesn't really pick up his pants very well. That's kind of cool. So his pants, that's actually brown. So the color is washed out real bad, and then his shirt is kind of outlined in blue. So that's interesting. This was an early draft. Kevin McDougall, who is going to be my artist for the other Epsilon City Tales universe stuff. Currently, of course, Luke Stone is my artist for Chrome Dog, but the rest of the crew in the other issues, I'm looking at potentially using Kevin for at least issue number one. Because I love his style, and so he put this together for me based on my prompts, and so this is kind of like my homage to Frank Castle in a way. I had to create my own vigilante hero because they just completely disrespected my boy. So I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to make my own put him in my universe, and I'm still working on how he fits and what his deal is. But I can tell you that he's going to be very distinct from Frank Castle in many different ways. Um, and so you'll just have to find out what that is. But the here we see him; he's wearing these cargo pants, and they're bloused into his not bloused. What am I? They're tucked in. Blousing is when they come down, but they're tucked into his combat boots. Which, I mean, he looks a little too militaristic for me. Um, Now, his backstory: he was in the military at some point, but that's in his distant past, like when he was a young man. Let's see. We got some comments coming in here. Oh my gosh. You two are like my biggest fans, and I really appreciate you guys coming by. Seriously, you're making my evening here. You've got all these choices, all these different shows you could be watching, and you're coming by. Don't use tax. Okay, right. I won't. I won't use tax on that artwork, Duck. Not a problem. Do you want me to call you Duck, or do you want me to call you Bacon, or just don't call you late for dinner? No need to pander. Yeah, right. Well, so I can't take credit for this. I mean, I can take some because I did give him guidance. There is an actor. Uh, Man, let me see. Well, this video is definitely not as short as I expected it to be, but that's fine. I'm going to give myself just a little bit of leeway here. It is live stream after all. I do not plan on going in past, I'd say 20 minutes. So let's see how fast I can do this. I'm trying to think of the guy's name, but there's an actor who he was in the movie Walking Tall. Like that's the first, and it's the remake. So like the latest, or the not the Kevin Sorbo version, but the Rock. He says either duck or bacon. Okay, fantastic. All right, duck, and we'll say breaker. So is it breaker or woke? You can just call me Zero, or you can call me Justin. Oh, by the way, it's funny. I keep getting yes. It was in the rock version called Walking Tall. So the actor that I'm referring to is this guy by the name of Neil McDonough. I think that's how you say it. Let me do this so you don't see the stuff. So I'm going to share the screen and show you just what I'm talking about. Um, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Boom. All right. So there he is. So this is Neil McDonough. He's a great actor. I've always liked his look. He has these steel blue eyes. The characters that he plays, he has these really just cool. This I don't even know what to say. Like there's a gravitas to him. Um, the WB. Oh, right. Woke breaker. WB. Nice. Now, that's the question, right? So woke, are you like a closeted CW fan? Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, that's kind of funny. Speaking of CW, here's the Flash TV show. So apparently, Mr. McDonough made an appearance on the show at some point. I think I watched maybe the first couple of seasons with my kids. But anyway, this is the guy, and I think he kind of that was essentially the overall like look. He has these icy blue eyes, this pale blonde hair. Of course, here we can't see his hair because he is. I guess he's older now, so it is kind of gray. Trying to find some older shots of him, but yeah, like if I had to cast the closer, it would be Neil McDonough, and so that was kind of the impetus of why I kind of chose that. He says he's a great actor. He's in a lot of stuff. Yeah, yeah, and I don't know what there's just something about him. I think he's really cool. So getting back to this, so this was the initial design, and I was just kind of messing around with it's hard to see the colors, but I messed around with some markers on the edges. Um, and so this is the final design that I did, and I haven't tweaked it or anything yet. But so the story of this guy, even though he was a veteran, or is a veteran, he served in the military when he was a young man, like many of us do, I should say. He he later got out of the military, kind of did one tour in combat, uh, did combat tour, and then he got out, and then he joined the police force. Rose in the ranks really fast, and became a police detective almost in record timing. So like he did his required allotment of time, and certain stars aligned, if you will, and he showed enough promise, that he was able to acquire the position of becoming, a detective. And during his time at the precinct that he worked for, he he encountered certain malevolent forces, we'll say, corrupt, people that in his department that were um, trying to get him to skew evidence in certain ways to prevent crimes from being prosecuted in certain ways. And he didn't want to play ball, and some bad things happened to some people around him. And he still wouldn't relent. And then years go by, some other bad things happen, and after they kind of give him, it's weird, it's like he's been given like one more chance, and he fails to compromise himself. And so something terrible, very tragic, happens at that point. Of course, tragedy was earlier. I'm trying to keep it somewhat vague, because I want this stuff to kind of come out in the story. But the long and short is, and it's no secret at this point, but the logo that's on his chest, yes, it's a skull logo, and it's one of my design. I designed that myself. Um, the X's, I don't know if you know much about punk rock, or the straight edge rock scene, but they put these big black X's on their hands, which normally, like, to most people, when you go into a club and you're under 21, they put these big black X's on your hands so you can't order a drink. um you can't go up to the bar without someone knowing that you're a minor, that kind of thing. And so that's become, in the straight edge, which is people who abstain from drugs, alcohol, oftentimes sex as well. They'll put these big black X's on them, and on their hands, to kind of signify that. And there's like a punk rock music scene that goes along with that. And so in the Epsilon City universe, Jake Bastion, aka the closer, his son was a big fan of this band called the Dead Skulls, and they were a straight edge band. And so he himself was, as a young man, like he was straight edge, mainly because his son, because we're talking about his uh, Jake Bastion's 17-year-old son. Um, his aunt, right? So his mother's sister, uh, was she had drug problems real bad, and she wound up dying of an overdose, and that kind of, and he had a close relationship with his aunt. And so his son, um, followed the scene pretty close, became very straight edge himself. And when he himself died of an overdose, he was wearing this T-shirt. And so um, this was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for Jake Bastion, and he decided, enough's enough. I'm going to take the law into my own hands, and I'm going to purge the corruption that's in this department. And he does it one bullet at a time, we'll say. Um, but that's really just kind of the backstory. Yes, I do plan on telling that story maybe in the first novel, or first issue, couple issues, maybe we'll flash back to that. um, but that's kind of in his past as to where he is when he encounters someone like Chrome Dog or Thunder Horse or anyone else in my pantheon of characters, modern day, if you will. So sometimes your past kind of catches up with you, and so he gets to kind of contend with that. But also, he's a vigilante character. And while he was a cop killer for obvious reasons, wanting to clear out the corruption of his own precinct in the past, he dedicates himself to a life of trying to help solve crime in a way that's not just a war on crime like Frank Castle does. It's more of their cold cases or cases that otherwise seem to be unsolved because of corrupt means, and he takes them on as a somewhat private investigator, but he has no problem dispatching an actual sense of natural justice as necessary. So that is pretty much the closer in a nutshell. And so he's all about trying to close those cases one way or the other. So, um, but yeah, and you know what? Since this is an unboxing video, and even though I already unboxed it the other day, I'm just excited about it because I did get a chance to read it. But here's a little preview. See if I can. Maybe you can hear the wrapping. I don't know, but this is a cool little print that came with it, right? This other thing I'm going to show off. But I backed. It's actually the last book that I backed. I backed Battle Brick Road, #1. This is the Kelsey Shannon cover, and I backed this one on. Pretty sure I backed this one on Fund My Comic. So yeah, Eric Weathers, of course. It should be no secret at this point, especially if you go to the description in my video, in this video, and click the crowdfunding campaign for Chrome Dog. You'll see that Eric Weathers is actually my letterer as well. And so, yeah, so I got this cool version of Battle Brick Road 1. Very, very cool back. Like, the design of this is very reminiscent of what I plan to do with the back of my comics. So at least a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's signed by Eric Weathers here, and then this is Zeb Hatfield, which is the writer. I mean, I don't know how much they contribute both to these characters and the story. So I guess it's unfair to say that one's less equal than the other. So I think they're both Eric and Zeb do a really good job in this story of getting you to certain places, certain conclusions, fun stuff. Definitely an inspiration. This character that we see here, in kind of lurking in the back of this cover, she is very similar in a way to how I envision Chrome Dog's main antagonist. So you kind of want to stay tuned at least a little bit for that, and we won't actually get to see her, like, what she's going to become in Chrome Dog until like maybe issue number 2 or issue number 3. At least, yeah, like issue 2, she's let's just say if you have not read the 10-page Ashcan, I've got in the description, I've got a link to it for you to be able to click it and just download it and just digest it. This first 10 pages, Chrome Dog #1, it'll get you nice and set up, in my opinion, for what's going to come next in the next 22 pages of Chrome Dog #1. It'll definitely give you a feel, kind of an overall feeling of where I'm going with the comic. If not, give you a nice little story. But yeah, so this is my video. This was Battle Brick Road #1. We also, I think I've already said it. Yeah, I set it down. I've got that wonderful piece of artwork. If you have not gone, I will see what I can do to try to get this up But if you've not gone to Battle Brick Road number 2, I certainly look forward to being able to buy this book. Probably not going to be able to do it this time because of that moratorium I was telling you about. But I strongly recommend anybody and everybody go to battlebrickroad.com and back this book. As far as I understand, it is exclusively on Eric Weather's own website, and so you definitely want to back it. And if you don't have Battle Brick Road number 1, I suggest going ahead and getting that with Battle Brick Road 2 in the same go. But yep, this has pretty much been my unboxing video. Lots of exciting things happening in indie comics. If you get a chance, check out the my Substack. I try to drop a new post to twice a week. We'll see. I've kind of made it to where I want to at least post 4 different times a month. So, but yeah. So Bacon says, I dig it. Well, thanks, man. And yeah, and he says, nice. Kelsey's awesome. I wholeheartedly agree, and I really appreciate you saying that about what I'm trying to do with the closer, Duck. So, but until next time, enjoy our wild America.